So that shiny new game just came out, No Rest for the Wicked, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game first and first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for around 2.5 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. To start off, this game you customize your character, but there's not a whole lot of options here. Male, female, and a few different customization presets. Once done with that, you create a realm, which is just a game world, and then you can begin. There's a few different things to go over first. Pestilence is something that disfigures people and makes them into monsters. Also, you play as a serum. I honestly don't know too much about the lore of this game yet, but the serum seems to be respected and a little feared. You start off on a boat, and then the boat is attacked. Then the boat crashes. Good start. Anyways, you wash up on the island that you were going to anyway, Sakura, the one that is infested with pestilence. Before you wake up though, there's another cutscene. This one has to do with a kingdom. The king died, and the son becomes king. His first order as king is to send Selene and her inquisition to the island of Sakura to rid it of the pestilence. And I think he also means to kill every normal person living there as well, but that wasn't specifically said, so I'm a little unsure on that. He did seem a little evil, though. After waking on the beach, you pretty much have free reign of the island. There's crates that you can smash that sometimes have items. There's random chests that you can find, but the most important part is the enemies. There's enemies scattered around the island, and they are seriously no joke. I'm not great at these difficult combat games, but to me this game is pretty hard. I died probably 15 or 20 times in the 2.5 hours that I played. There's different kind of enemy types. There's big ones, small ones, fast ones, strong ones, bosses, sub-bosses, and so on. There's also normal soldiers as well. Regardless of the enemy though, they're all pretty hard to fight. You can die pretty easily if you're not really paying attention. After washing ashore, you have nothing at all. Finding a weapon took quite a while, honestly. There's different weapon types too. While I played, I saw knives, dual knives, swords, staffs, and clubs. I'm sure there's probably a few more types though. Besides weapons, you can find shields, armor, food, and various crafting supplies. The staff and wand weapons can use spells. When I had a staff, I used fireballs when I had enough focus. Focused is used when you use a weapon's rune. Runes are unique attacks to every single weapon. So for example, swords and staffs would have different unique rune attacks. Then there are whispers, which are just save points. If you die, you'll respawn at the last whisper that you saved at. But if you die, you will also get a durability loss. Weapons and armor all have durability. You have some pretty limiting factors while playing. One big one is stamina, which is pretty atrocious. Attacking and dodging both use stamina, and you will run out of stamina in seconds. Luckily, it recharges fairly quickly, but these enemies are good, so if you mess up with your stamina, you'll be taking damage while it recharges. Luckily, every time that you level up, you get 3 points to put into yourself. Carry weight, stamina, and so on. You can increase your stamina, but even increasing it, it's still not that great. The second big limiting factor, I think, is your inventory space. You can only carry a certain amount of each category. Also, how much you carry affects your speed, fast, normal, and heavy. Besides weapons, there are utility tools. I've come across 4 different ones so far: shovel, fishing pole, axe, and pickaxe. You can use these to get ore, dig at certain spots in the ground, chop trees, and catch fish at certain spots. Eating food gives you health, but that can be a little hard to find sometimes. Also, at campfires, you can craft food with different ingredients that you collect, but you need the recipe for the food before you can craft it. Once I had like 3 recipes, I was usually pretty good on food. Up until that point though, I was struggling. The final boss to the beginning area is so freaking hard. I died 3 times in a row and I knew I had no chance. So I spent most of my time going over every inch of the island besides the main boss, and I killed every single enemy, all side bosses, and I got better weapons, armor, food, and I was prepared. I still died though. But my saving grace was a man. A man I had rescued from soldiers earlier. You can buy and sell items with him. I bought 19 scrap bombs using all the money I had worked so hard for. I spammed bombs on the main boss and killed it with 11 of them. I never had to use my sword once. Fight smarter, not harder, right? At the end, before I got off, I made it to a town called Sacrament. I have not fully explored this town yet, but there's different vendors to sell and buy with here. One thing I did here was infuse my sword with a gem, which adds heat damage. Plus, my sword was permanently on fire and also lights away from me like a torch. I got off after that, but I can't wait to try it out on an enemy. This game has mixed reviews on Steam currently for various reasons. Combat, stamina, inventory, you can't change your key bindings, but mostly performance issues, I think. My performance wasn't great either. It was around 30 to 60 FPS usually during battles, and over 100 just walking around. The performance during battles is not great. It needs to be improved for sure, but honestly, this type of top-down game, 30 to 60 FPS, wasn't really that bad at all. Every now and then it did drop during combat and mess me up, but all in all, the performance did not hinder me too much, even with the lower FPS. The graphics look pretty great, and honestly, I just like the game in general. Whatever flaws it may have, I still just really like it. There's something about this game that's just fun and addicting to play, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.